Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Today, I wanted to give you a little history lesson. Exactly 2 years ago today, I spoke with Ken Seddon from the LOT network, and LOT stands for License on Transfer. Now, at the time, it seemed on a regular basis that we were constantly reading about the effects of trolls online. And we all know that trolls exist on social media. However, what we don't hear about very often are patent trolls. These bloodsuckers wait around not just for the large tech companies, but for small to medium-sized businesses and startups by finding loopholes in their patent laws. And when they find them, they can actually destroy an entire company. Fast forward 2 years, are these problems still there for tech startup founders? Have their methods got more sophisticated? Or has Ken and his team ran the trolls out of town? Believe it or not, these are the kind of questions that keep me up at night. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Phoenix, Arizona, so we can speak with Ken Seddon from the LOT network, who's going to be taking a few minutes out of his time battling patent trolls to speak with us today on the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. So a big warm welcome back to the show, Ken. I can't believe that 2 years have passed to the day since we last spoke on episode 82, as we're now on around about 580. But, I mean, can you remind the listeners of who you are and what you do? Because I'm sure we've got a lot of new listeners since we last spoke.
Hi, Neil. Sure. And thanks for having me back to chat. I always enjoy chatting with you, and I appreciate the opportunity to reach out to your listeners, and I enjoy listening to your podcast. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 years. When we last spoke, we had 75 members in our community, and now we've quadrupled in size in just 2 years. So, yeah, I'm the CEO of LOT Network, this organization that we're going to talk about today.
Fantastic. Well, just to bring everyone up to speed, the LOT Network is a non-profit that was first launched by Google and protects companies from patent trolls. But can you get new listeners up to speed by offering an overview of exactly what the LOT Network is, its history, and how you're helping businesses and startups?
Oh, of course, glad to. So LOT Network is a community of companies originally formed by Red Hat, Canon, and Google. And our board of directors also includes Tesla, Dropbox, SAP, Pure Storage, and now JP Morgan Chase. Very simply, the organization was created to protect innovation. We do this by preserving the normal use of the patents while at the same time immunizing our members from the costs and risks of what we call patent assertion entities, or PAEs, or as you said, patent trolls. You know, we know that companies spend billions each year dealing with patent trolls, and our view is that every penny spent dealing with patent trolls is harming innovation. This is money that companies are not spending on new products, investing in R&D, or returning to their shareholders. And the real irony of the patent troll issue is that companies only have themselves to blame for this. You know, in fact, over 80% of the patents used by these patent trolls who sue companies for shakedown money actually originated from operating companies. So since the companies are the ones that are causing this problem by selling their patents to trolls, we feel companies should be the ones to solve it. So the way it works is all of our members in our community have agreed that if one of their patents should ever fall into the hands of a patent troll in the future, then and only then, the other community members automatically get a free license. In other words, our community has immunized themselves to ensure that none of the patents in our community can hurt the others when bought by a patent troll. So think of LOT as a fuse. All of our members have attached a fuse to their patents. When that patent becomes owned by a troll, the fuse blows and the patent becomes disabled so that it can't be used to harm the other members. But until that happens, the patent is still alive and well, nothing's changed, and the patent can be used in all the normal traditional ways. During my 3 years of LOT, we have grown from 11 members when we first started to now over 260 companies, including some of the largest patent holders across all industries. You know, folks like Amazon, GM, Ford, Cisco, Uber, Facebook, etc. In total, our members have now pledged over 1.2 million patent assets to this commitment. That means all of our members will never have to worry about any of those 1.2 million assets in the hands of a troll. But we're not just a big boy club. We're also very proud to say that 1 out of 3 of our members are startups. And of course, we invite any company from any industry of any size to consider joining.
Now, I'd love for you to tell me that since we last spoke, patent trolls have been eradicated, but I suspect that they've become more sophisticated with their tactics. So has the problem of patent trolls and the battle against them, has that changed at all in the last 2 years since we spoke?
It definitely has. I wish I could tell you the war was over, this was all done, and we could wrap things up. But just given the amount of money that trolls are still making, it attracts some of the smartest, most creative, and naturally well-resourced people to this profession. They know how to adapt and change as they need to maximize the ROI on this litigation. And sadly, despite the best efforts of the Supreme Court and Congress to change the law, patent trolls are still alive and well. One change we have seen is simply where trolls are required to file their lawsuits. They used to go to the Eastern District of Texas. That was one of their favorite venues where they would sue companies. But now they simply just file in Delaware, where most companies are incorporated. Trolls still file about 2,000 new lawsuits a year. And this year, 2018, the pace is a little bit ahead of what we saw at the same time last year. Of course, one change we have seen is the who is getting sued. We are excited to report now, 4 years into this, that no member of Lot Network has ever been sued by a patent that's left the network. So at least we're winning the war in some fronts.
Now, I've also read recently how there's been an increase in patent trolls around the blockchain industry, and that's an area that's booming at the moment and expanding at such a rapid rate. But why is that, do you think? And how are you helping companies defend against patent trolls in the blockchain industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Blockchain seems to be the next frontier for the next round of patent wars. I think most technologists see blockchain and distributed ledgers as the next new technology that's likely to be used by a wide array of high-tech companies. Everyone from banks, software companies, consumer products, et cetera, are likely to be using blockchain in one form or another. Given the potential broad use of blockchain across all these industries, PAEs, of course, see this as a perfect target area because it gives them a broad group of potential companies they can start suing. And the real risk is that blockchain technology is being developed by thousands of companies, not just a handful of small people. Most companies, large and small, are engaged in some arms race to try to file as many blockchain patents as they can. But if any one of these companies fail, there's a good chance that those patents are going to get bought by a troll who then goes after the entire industry. I kind of see this as the dandelion problem. All these patents are being created, and with a shift in the market, those patents will scatter like a gust of wind spreading the dandelion seeds everywhere. And this is only going to harm anybody who remains in the industry. So we're working closely with industry leaders to try to encourage any blockchain company to join Lot before this happens. And that's why we've made Lot Network membership free for most of the blockchain companies. With such a potentially widespread problem, immunization really is the only cure.
So for any CEO that's listening or founder of a blockchain company and hearing alarm bells about frivolous lawsuits that could arrive on their doorstep unannounced in the near future or indeed at any moment, how does the Lot Network work? And does joining the Lot Network also, does that run the risk of devaluing their patent portfolio?
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, if you're a CEO, you should be hearing alarm bells. Defending your company from a troll lawsuit through trial will cost on average over $1 million per lawsuit. And I don't care how big you are, I'm sure that $1 million to a CEO, there's many things he or she would rather spend that money on. And you're right. Several CEOs we talked to, their initial reaction is that this will hurt the value of their patents. But remember, and this is important, Lot was designed to protect the normal uses of patents. We believe in innovation and that patents protect innovation. As a member of Lot, you are still free to use your patents in all of the traditional ways. You can sue anybody inside or outside the network with your patents. You can license anybody inside or outside the network. You're even free to sell your patents to anybody you want, including patent trolls. And for example, we've already had proof of this now since we last spoke. Both Uber and Waymo are proud members of our community. And as you saw play out in the courtroom and in the press, they were engaged in a very extensive IP dispute. But their Lot membership didn't interfere with what those companies did in the litigation. And keep in mind, too, that lot companies like Cisco, Oracle, GM, these companies have spent hundreds of millions of dollars developing and growing their patent portfolio. Obviously, those companies weren't worried about devaluing since they're all members of our community.
So for people that aren't familiar with the terminology, PAE refers to a patent assertion entity. So how does the lot network determine who is a PAE?
Yeah, no, great question, and it's an important question because that defines the boundary of the agreement. We define a PAE or a patent troll to be any company that generates more than 50% of its gross revenue from patent assertion. You know it when you see it. It's these LLC companies who buy some patents and immediately start suing other companies. They don't make products. And the reason we set this definition, there's really two reasons for it. First, as an operating company and a member of LOT, you are free to monetize your patents and generate licensing revenue. There are many companies out there like IBM, Qualcomm, Intel, etc. All these companies have an operating business, but they make money on the side off of their patents. But even somebody like IBM only generates about 1% of its gross revenue from its patent program. And also, by setting the definition at 50%, this maximizes the level of protection we can offer our members from any sort of games that patent trolls might try to play with shell companies and holding companies, etc. So we've optimized your flexibility to monetize your patents while at the same time optimizing the protection we can give you from patent troll games.
So what are the biggest challenges and opportunities facing both yourselves at the Lot Network and your customers? What kind of problems they're coming to you with?
Sure. Well, to be honest, Lot Network, the organization's biggest challenge right now is simply growing the organization to handle the growth we have in new members. When I started, I was the only one available to meet with companies. We now have 10 folks available worldwide to meet with companies who have questions and are interested in joining. We've also created many new programs to add value to our members. So, for example, we have a Women in Networking IP group, and we also have a patent donation program for startups. And I think from the perspective of our membership, our members, the biggest issue they're facing is simply the convergence of technology. Everyone is becoming more high tech and quite often using technology that came from outside their industry. Now, we see, for example, the automakers are really becoming software companies. And we see software companies who want to get into the auto industry. And it's this cross-pollination of technology that's making everybody more exposed to patent trolls. So what I'm seeing more and more is our members proactively encouraging their suppliers to join LOT. And for any LOT member, having your suppliers in LOT is good for both you, the buyer, and the supplier. I think we've seen it foster a deeper technical relationship, which is good for innovation overall. And it also reduces the costs associated with indemnification and stabilizes the supply chain. So that's why we see both folks winning.
So if we have somebody listening now that's a startup founder or someone that's in the blockchain space, and they're listening to the show today and they're either trying to get a patent or trying to stop being sued by a troll, why should they check out the Lot Network?
No, we certainly welcome them. Lot's been very successful up to now attracting the large companies who have these huge patent portfolios. And now we're truly making a concerted effort to invite these smaller companies to join. And our goal is to make this a no-brainer for any startup, regardless of their industry. And there's 4 or 5 reasons for that. For one, we know that about half the companies sued by patent trolls every year have less than $10 million in annual revenue. We've seen a group of trolls who deliberately prefer to sue smaller companies because they see them that they don't have the legal or financial resources to fight back. And so they see these as quick settlement targets. So as a startup, by joining, you're going to get immunized to these 1.2 million patents worldwide. Second, we treat all Lot members equal. Even if you're a startup who doesn't have a patent, we welcome you to join, and you can sit side by side with the executives of our large member companies at our annual meeting. Third, we've actually made Lot free. Because Lot is a nonprofit, we have to reduce our fees as we grow to maintain our nonprofit status. So believe it or not, now anybody with less than $25 million in annual revenue can join Lot for free and get immunized to all these patents for free. And fourth, and this is one of the new things that we just rolled out, I'm really excited about, is we're now giving away free patents to startups. We've had several of our large member companies donate thousands of patents to Lot and the organization, and we're giving those away for free to any startup that joins so that they can have a better chance of survival and protecting their innovation. So all in all, for all those reasons, and I'm sure many more, Lot should be a simple no-brainer decision, and we're glad to answer any questions they might have.
You took the words out of my mouth there. I was just about to say that's a no-brainer for anyone with a startup or running their own business. But before I do let you go, could I just ask that you remind the listeners of where they can find you guys online, and also contact a member of your team if they've got any questions or just want to carry on that conversation?
Of course. And well, first, thank you again for this opportunity to share the Lot Network story with your listeners. They can certainly learn more about our organization, about Lot Network at www.lotnet.com. That's simply LOTNET.com. Or you can email me directly at ken.seddon, SEDDON, at lotnet.com.
Well, I'm speaking to a lot of guests in the blockchain space at the moment that I know this is going to be incredibly valuable to, and especially when you're talking about free membership and potentially free patents. Like I said, it's a no-brainer, it really is. But more than anything, just a big thank you for taking the time to come on and making us aware of this. It's so important. So thanks again for coming back on.
Of course, thank you, Neil. Have a great day, and thank you everyone to your listeners.
It really was fantastic to catch up with Ken today, and it often feels that technology, or in particular tech companies, get a bad rap from the media. But I guess that's because bad news sells and good news doesn't. But I loved hearing today about why companies such as Google, Lenovo and Red Hat, etc. are giving back to the startup community. These are the stories that should be shared more. Recognising that startups don't always have the capital to invest in building their own patent portfolios. In fact, it's probably a long way down their list of priorities. Even though smart, meaningful patents materially improve business outcomes. And I love how the non-profit Lot Network is working with member companies to gift free patents to startups. So if you are a startup founder, whether you're in the blockchain space or not, did you find today's conversation interesting, and did you have anything valuable to take away from it? It's your turn to be part of the conversation, and we can carry this on via Twitter at Neil C. Hughes, or of course you can email me at techblogwriter@outlook.com. The choice is yours, but remember, I'm the easiest guy in the world to get hold of. Unless, of course, it's another sales pitch. Then I might go quiet on you. Call me old-fashioned, but get to know someone rather than go straight in with, buy my stuff. Oh no, I feel a rant coming on. I better get out of here quick and spare you all from it. Seriously though, a big thank you for choosing to listen to this show and put up with me talking into your ear every day. I honestly don't know how you do it. But thanks for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.